Hello. I'm Interweb Studios and today we ask Reddit what's some basic knowledge that most people don't know, but should. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment something you want people to know. I'm leaving that vague intentionally. With that out of the way, sit back and enjoy. A guest requested their chicken to be cooked medium rare this week. I don't understand why I have to stress that chicken only leaves the kitchen when it's completely cooked. The salmonella just makes it more tasty. A colleague tried raw chicken hearts on vacation. Some local thing was violently ill. There's a long handle on the side behind your steering wheel that when you flick it up or down it turns an orange flashing light on that tells other drivers around you which way you're going to be turning. I've noticed a growing number of people signaling the opposite direction than they're turning lately. I don't know what the hell is going on with that, but it seems to be more and more common lately here in Toronto. How to spot an obvious scam. Look how many people fall for those clickbait articles and chain posts and propaganda and stuff. I know, right? That's why I'm offering a $5,000 course on how to avoid scams. Enroll today. If you haven't learnt what a scam is by the end of the course, money back guaranteed. Saw something this morning about some chick falling for a fake astronaut scam. Said he needed money to get back to Earth. Are you ducking kidding me? People really be this stupid? Space taxis are very expensive and you can't bring much to space with you. That you should wait for people to get off the elevator when it arrives at your floor, instead of cramming yourself in when the doors open, blocking their departure. And keep walking when you go through a door or step off an escalator. Not if you consider everyone else an NPC and yourself as the main character. I also seriously dislike people who pay absolutely no attention to the people around them. How a four-way stop works. Every hurricane in Florida we have several traffic lights go out. People are supposed to treat it like a four-way stop, but instead they do this nonsense. Oh, he went? 10 more of us will go. It's fine. I actually saw one light where people were doing it correctly after Hurricane Ian and I nearly shit myself, I was so shocked. I came to a stop at a traffic light that was out, and the lifted truck behind me honked at me. Antibiotics do not work on a virus. Oh Jesus, this. All these idiots demanding antibiotics for the most minor sniffle, and the spineless doctors prescribing them are literally creating superbugs, making everything worse for everyone. Antibiotic resistance is real, peeps. Edit. For the folks who keep saying, but if viruses aren't affected by antibiotics, then how can this possibly create superbugs? Simple, it's not the viruses, they aren't affected by antibiotics. It's the bacteria that we naturally have in our bodies that actually acquires the resistance first. When we have natural, antibiotic-resistant bacteria in our body, bad bacteria is able to acquire this same resistance from our natural bacteria, thus creating superbugs. The point is still the same, though unnecessarily taking antibiotics for viruses triggers the process that leads to superbug creation via antibiotic resistance. You'd love my mother-in-law. She gets them for a cold. Takes half a pack and then saves the rest for later. Even offers them out to us when we're sick. We don't take them of ducking course. She has a whole lunchbox of old random antibiotics up in her cupboard. I've tried to tell her multiple times she's doing it wrong, but what the duck would I know? I only worked in pharmacy for 6 years. I'm a pharmacist and I had to take my son to his pediatrician for some non-specific symptoms and she described him as viral, and then proceeded to tell me she was prescribing a 10-day course of Ceftonir. I asked if she thought he had a bacterial infection as well and she said, no? I asked why he needed the antibiotic then and she said, most parents demand it. I said I was a pharmacist and that didn't make a whole lot of sense. She looked super embarrassed and mumbled that she was canceling the prescription. She was super rude the rest of the visit. I thought she would be happy that a parent had some good sense about it for once. Not to pour water into hot oil. Edit. Damn, this blew up. Lol. I'll also add that this may not be basic knowledge but it should be. I myself only found out from one of my science electives in year 11th or 12th and even then, it was a topic that only came up after a student asked my teacher about an incident that popped up on the news, so chances are it would never have been mentioned otherwise. Schools should at least have a lesson or program highlighting the common risks at home and the methods to avoid or contain them. Homeroom class would have been a perfect time. We spent the majority of that twiddling our fingers until the bell rang. I put a tiny drop in to know if it's ready sometimes. It booms. I wet my hand and flick towards it to make sure it's hot. It's a minimal amount of water and my hands stay far away. Learned this the hard way at 13 when my mother left a pot of oil on the stove. Third-degree burns on my right hand, neck and chest. How long it takes a semi-truck to stop. It always makes me mad when I pass a semi, give them enough space before getting back over, and some asshole decides that the space I was leaving for the semi to need to stop is actually for his dumbass to slide into. I'd swear so many people think one car length is plenty of room when everyone's going 70 miles per hour or 110 kilometers per hour. And that truck drivers can't necessarily see you down there, so give them space. That pretty much every machine requires maintenance. Think dishwashers, washing machines, cars, mowers, etc. They aren't magic boxes. And they will last longer if you know how to maintain them. My mother-in-law is in her 80s and until recently didn't know that the dishwasher needs its filters cleaning every so often. And computers. A scary number of people seem to think it's all about software wrapped in magic. They just can imagine mechanical, electrical issues, not even heating. I was trying to debug a problem with my dad's ancient desktop computer and it sounded like a fan was burnt out or something. He then went on to say the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't understand how a computer can break when there aren't any moving parts. He's not even mechanically dumb. He built houses and fixes his own car, but computers are just a mysterious black box of witchcraft that he refuses to understand. Lol. Tangentially related, every machine wears down. No, a machine suddenly breaking down while I was using it isn't proof of my stupidity. It just means that the machine was already severely degraded. Tax brackets. You only pay the higher rate on the portion above the threshold amount. This drives me ducking crazy. I work in manufacturing and make enough that we're right below the threshold for the next tax bracket. So many of my coworkers refuse to take overtime only because they think they'll actually make less money on their paycheck than if they didn't. This mentality is so prevalent even a reply to your comment misrepresents how taxes work. Only the portion of income above the bracket is taxed at a higher rate. It's always better to make more. You never take home less standard income because you made too much money, or however these people think income tax works in fairytale land. Edit. A lot of people are commenting about welfare, which is not relevant to my comment about how income tax works. How to tell if food has gone bad. When I worked in a meat department, we got like one call a day from people saying, "I bought this X days ago, is it still good?" Lady, I'm not there with you. This ain't a smellophone. You're going to have to use your own senses and brain on this one. My mom will always use meat before the date on the package and refuse to use meat even one day after. It's infuriating. I've had too many conversations that go, "Man, this bacon doesn't taste right." Yeah, I know, it smelled funky in the package, too. Then why did you cook it? It doesn't expire until tomorrow. My brother-in-law is a chemist that uses to deal with best by dates. Based in what he told me, the dates aren't arbitrary but they don't all mean the same thing. Some food just goes bad and isn't safe to eat. Other foods discolors or the taste changes, but is still safe to eat. And yet others that advertise certain things like high vitamin C, well, the vitamin C deteriorates over time, so after a while it might only have half the advertised amount. Most best by dates are fairly conservative as well, as long as food is stored properly. That the scientific meaning of theory isn't what the colloquial sense means. True, colloquial meaning of theory is hypothesis. More generally, there are a lot of terms that mean one specific thing within a certain field or industry that mean something completely different when talked about in a different field or just in the general population. Overdosing on Tylenol in large enough doses will prove fatal. The death is slow, painful and cruel, and there's nothing that can be done about it save for a liver transplant, which, good luck with that. Women don't pee through their vagina. We know that. Women pee out their butt. A recent congressional interview with a doctor had a congressperson asking if a woman could swallow a capsule camera to check the health of their fetus, and when he was told, no, the digestive system is entirely separate from the vagina, he said, wow, fascinating. Don't bother wild animals. I'm sure it's just natural selection at this point. But the amount of stupid people I see walking up to wild creatures for video footage is irritating, to be honest. Bonus points if the human gets hurt, haha. With the corollary of, wild animals are not good pets. Not just things like lions and tigers, as made infamous by bad reality TV as well as Sigmund and Roy, but there are several other exotic animals that just do not make good pets. I have a friend who kind of stumbled into rescuing sugar gliders from people who thought they were cute and were woefully unprepared to care for them. They require enormous amounts of effort, fresh organic food in specific quantities, a huge variety in their diet, everything from fruit to almonds to mealworms in balanced quantities. They are truly nocturnal, which means they don't like being bothered during the day, they don't particularly like being touched or handled, and they literally scream at night. As an added bonus, vets don't really have a lot of experience with them, so if and when something happens, the vet is just as likely to be as confused as you are if they're even willing to see you in the first place. And yet people get scammed into thinking they are a cute equivalent to hamsters or something. As someone who rescues animals, it's often appalling how little effort people put into caring for their pets in general, how little they understand the needs of the animal, but owning exotics is like the epitome of ignoring reality. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment you want people to know. Until next time.